In ancient Greece, beauty could be a death sentence, not because they killed you, but because they kept you alive, to own you, to use you, to break you. What if I told you that the same civilization they praise as the birthplace of freedom built its power on stolen youth, chained flesh, and silenced screams, and tonight, you're about to step inside the room they never wanted you to see? They told you Greece was the cradle of democracy, the birthplace of reason, the shining marble beacon of civilization. They lied. What they don't teach you in classrooms is what happened behind the marble walls, in the rooms you were never meant to see. Rooms lit by oil lamps, heavy with the scent of wine and sweat, where men in silk tunics passed around boys like goblets of imported honey. And tonight, you are one of those boys. You wake to the sound of the iron key grinding in the lock. Your cell is small, barely enough space to stretch your legs. The air is damp, thick with the sour mixture of fear and olive oil rubbed on your skin the night before. Somewhere above you, music plays, the high-pitched cry of an alas flute and the muffled laughter of men whose names you will never be allowed to speak aloud. Your bare feet touch the cold stone, and you pull the thin, linen chiton over your body, not to preserve modesty, because you have none left, but because the overseer will beat you for being slow. The shackle on your ankle rattles as you stand, the raw skin beneath it sticky with blood. The door swings open. Demetrius steps inside, his bulk blotting out the torchlight from the corridor. His eyes travel over you with the same detached precision as a man inspecting a horse before a race. "Clean yourself," he says, tossing a damp rag at your feet. "The master has guests tonight. And you will entertain." The word entertain slides like cold metal into your gut. You've heard it too many times. It means hands that grab without asking, lips that leave bruises, and eyes that strip you long before your clothes are removed. Once, there was a home. A father. A mother. Laughter. That life is gone. Now, there is only ownership, and tonight, you'll learn what it truly means. It begins long before you understand what's happening. Maybe your father owes a debt he can't repay. Maybe raiders swept through your village in the night. Maybe, you were simply born with a face someone decided was valuable. The rural villages of Greece lived on the knife's edge. One bad harvest, one illness, one accident, and the balance was gone. And when it was gone, there were men who came, not with swords, but with contracts, coins, and chains. They arrived like merchants, but they weren't selling. They were buying. And the currency was human. They set up in the village square, their iron shackles coiled on the ground like sleeping serpents. They examined boys in the open daylight, pressing on muscles, checking teeth, running fingers through hair, while parents stood by, faces locked in the mask of desperation. You're 12. You don't understand why your father won't meet your eyes. Why your mother's hands shake as she pulls you forward. You think this is some test, some opportunity. And in a way, it is, an opportunity for someone else to own you. Silver coins spill into your father's palm. Each one is a year of your life. You see the way his fingers close over them, trembling, and you understand something without words: this is final. The men lead you away in a line of boys. You're chained at the neck to the one in front of you, his shoulders narrow, his ribs sharp under the skin. The older boys don't speak, they've already learned that hope is dangerous. The younger ones cry until their throats are raw. Days blur into weeks. Hills, valleys, and olive groves pass in a haze of hunger and fatigue. The beauty of the land is wasted on you. All you see is the chain in front of you, the bruises on the ankles ahead, the overseer's whip coiled and ready at his side. At night, you're staked to the ground like an animal. Sometimes men come in the dark to look at you. They speak in low voices, appraising, bargaining. You don't know what for yet, but you will. And when you finally see Athens, its marble gleaming in the sun, you'll realize the city is not a sanctuary. It's the mouth of the machine, and you are about to be fed into it, Athens. From a distance, it looks like a city carved from the bones of the gods. White marble columns rising against a blue sky, temples crowned in gold, streets alive with voices and color. But beauty is a mask, and the slave market is the rotting mouth beneath it. The sound hits you first. 100 voices at once, haggling, shouting, pleading, commanding. Chains clinking. Whips cracking. Somewhere, a woman screaming until her voice breaks. Then the smell, unwashed bodies, sweat thick with fear, stale urine baking in the sun. And something sweeter, perfumed oil, used to polish the skin of the merchandise before sale. You are the merchandise. They strip you. Not to humiliate you, humiliation is simply part of the process, but to let the buyers see everything they're paying for. Oil is rubbed into your skin until you shine. Your hair is combed, your nails cleaned, your posture adjusted like a prize animal about to be shown. Rows of human beings stretch in every direction. Children barely old enough to walk, clinging to mothers who are trying not to cry. Old men bent from decades of labor. Boys your age, some gaunt from hunger, some plump from softer service, all wearing the same empty stare. The buyers move among you like predators choosing prey. Some are farmers looking for muscle to work the fields. Some are wealthy housewives inspecting potential kitchen servants. But others are different. They wear silk-dyed tunics, the colors deep and expensive. Their sandals are new leather. They speak in slow, cultured tones, their fingers heavy with gold rings. And when they look at you, their gaze lingers too long. They aren't measuring your strength. They're measuring something else entirely. The auctioneer's voice booms, announcing your age, your origin, your gentle temperament. The crowd reacts, murmurs, nods, a flicker of interest from the wrong kind of man. The bidding starts low, then climbs as voices overlap. You stand frozen, eyes fixed on the ground, while strange hands probe your arms, your jaw, the muscles in your back. Someone grips your chin, forcing your eyes up. You see him, the one who will own you before this hour ends. He smiles. And you know, without a single word spoken, that you've been bought for something far more dangerous than labor. The man who buys you is named Lysander. You don't know it yet, all you know is his satisfied smile as he counts out the silver, his eyes already stripping away whatever part of you is still your own. He leads you through the streets of Athens like a prize he's eager to display. People glance at you, not with pity, but with the casual indifference reserved for livestock. The chains rattle with each step, a steady reminder, you are no longer walking on your own terms. Lysander's house looms over the narrow street, a fortress of wealth. Marble columns polished to a mirror shine, walls painted in deep reds and golds, mosaic floors depicting gods and heroes. It is beautiful in the way a predator is beautiful, every detail crafted for power and intimidation. Inside, you are handed over to Demetrius, the overseer. His body is thick with muscle, his face cut into hard lines from years of enforcing obedience. He was once a slave, too. Now he manages them, breaking spirits with the precision of a craftsman. He walks you through the rules, you eat when ordered. You sleep when ordered. You speak only when spoken to. You never meet the gaze of a free man. And above all, you never refuse a command, no matter what it is. Your bed is a thin mat in a stone room shared with other boys. They don't talk much. Some avoid your eyes. Others stare too long, their expressions warning you of things they can't say out loud. You are fed twice a day, porridge in the morning, bread and olives in the evening. Enough to keep you standing, never enough to make you strong. You are given fresh clothes once a week. You bathe when ordered, and you are oiled before the master's gatherings. It's not the beatings that hurt the most, though they come quickly for even the smallest mistake. It's the waiting. The long hours when you can hear laughter and music drifting from the symposium hall, knowing that sooner or later, your name will be called. And when it is, You will step into a room lit by golden lamps, where wine flows, the air smells of burning incense, and every man in the room will already think you belong to him. The summons comes with no warning. One moment you're scrubbing the marble steps in the courtyard, your hands raw from the lime water. The next, Demetrius is standing over you, holding a folded linen robe. Bathe, he orders. The master has chosen you tonight. The robe is softer than anything you've worn since the day you were taken. It smells faintly of myrrh. But the softness doesn't comfort you, it feels like the skin of a trap. You are taken to the baths, stripped, and scrubbed until your skin burns. Oil is rubbed into you, your hair combed and scented. The other boys preparing with you are silent, their faces fixed in the mask you've seen before, the one that hides whatever's happening inside. When they lead you into the symposium hall, the first thing that hits you is the heat. Braziers glow in the corners, incense smoke curling upward in thin, lazy spirals. The walls are painted with scenes of gods feasting, but the men lying on the couches around the low tables are not gods. They are flesh, flushed and sweating, their eyes glassy with wine. The air is thick with roasted meat, sweet figs, and the sharp tang of unmixed wine. Musicians play in the corner, a flute, a lyre, but the music is just another current in the room's intoxicated tide. You are paraded past them, each man's gaze sliding over you like a hand. Some smile. Some lean forward. One, already drunk, reaches out and grips your wrist hard enough to leave a bruise before Demetrius jerks you away. Lysander calls you to his side. He pours wine into a kylix and hands it to you, not for you to drink, but to serve to the man reclining beside him, a guest whose purple-dyed robe marks him as someone important. The man lets his fingers brush yours as he takes the cup, his eyes lingering on you too long. You know what's coming, even if you've never seen it before. You can feel it in the way the men speak, in their laughter, in the way their conversations grow quieter when you draw near. Tonight, you will not serve food. You will serve them. And when the lamps burn low and the music fades, you will leave the room carrying something invisible but permanent, the knowledge that whatever you were before tonight, you will never be again. It doesn't happen all at once. Breaking a boy is not like snapping a stick, it's more like bending a bow until the wood forgets it was ever straight. Demetrius is the artisan of that process. He knows that fear alone won't hold you forever, fear breeds defiance in some men. So he mixes it with ritual, reward, and the smallest crumbs of false affection. At first, the commands are simple: pour wine, wash feet, fetch cushions. You are corrected sharply if you move too slowly or look directly into a man's eyes. The punishments are swift: a cuff to the head, a lash across the back, a night without food. But the rewards are just as calculated: a ripe fig pressed into your hand when you anticipate an order, a smile from Lysander when you kneel at just the right angle. These moments are not kindness. They are hooks. And you will learn to bleed yourself on them willingly. The rules become second nature. You learn to enter a room without being noticed until you're needed. You learn the difference between a man who wants to be entertained with music, one who wants to be flattered, and one who wants to consume you like wine, slowly, savoring every drop. At night, when you lie awake in the slave quarters, you begin to measure yourself not by your own thoughts, but by theirs. Were they pleased? Did they smile? Did they call for you again? You hate yourself for caring, but caring becomes survival. Other boys vanish from the quarters. Sometimes they are sold. Sometimes, they simply do not return from the symposium. The silence around their absence is total, as if they never existed. You learn not to ask. The worst part is when they let you taste freedom, but only in fragments. A walk in the courtyard under the sun. A sweet date given without explanation. The rare sound of your own laughter when another boy whispers a forbidden joke. And then, taken away, replaced with the reminder that nothing here is yours. Not your time. Not your body. Not even your name. You start to forget the sound of your mother's voice. You start to forget what you looked like before the oil, before the robe, before the gaze of men who bought you. You are no longer the boy they took. You are the thing they made. And they are not done making you. You thought you were only a plaything. A body to be used and discarded. But in the palaces of kings and governors, nothing is only anything. Demetrius begins to explain it to you, not out of kindness, but because knowledge makes you more dangerous, and therefore more valuable. The bed, he tells you one night while combing scented oil through your hair, is the most important throne in this city. And sometimes, the one who warms it rules more than the man who sits upon it. At first, you don't understand. Then you see it happen. A visiting general, flushed with wine, spends a long night with one of the older concubines. The next morning, he changes his vote in the council, a decision that will send soldiers to one city instead of another, sparing some lives and ending others. No bribe was paid. No threat was made. Just whispers in the dark between two breaths. You learn that beauty can be sharper than a blade. The way you smile can open a treasury, the way you turn your gaze away at the right moment can plant suspicion in a ruler's heart. Even a sigh in the right ear can shift the weight of power from one faction to another. It is not the kind of influence you can claim openly. You will never be celebrated for it. But you can ruin men without them ever knowing it was you. Demetrius teaches you the subtle art, the pauses in speech that make men lean closer, the slight touch of a hand that makes them imagine more than you give, the calculated retreat that drives them mad enough to promise you anything. Some concubines rise this way. They are given jewels, fine robes, rooms of their own. They become confidants, advisors, even in secret, co-rulers. Others, drunk on their own allure, push too far. A jealous wife, a rival lover, or a shift in the political winds can mean a sudden execution, the blade slipping across a neck in the middle of the night. You begin to understand the most dangerous truth of this place. Here, your worth is measured by the desires you can awaken in others, and the chaos you can make of those desires. In the games of power, you are no longer a pawn. You are the poison in the cup. The night of the great feast arrives like a storm you've been hearing from far away, distant thunder, growing louder with each passing day. Servants scurry through corridors with trays of figs and roasted meats. Musicians tune their lyres in the courtyard. The air is heavy with the smell of wine and crushed pomegranate. You are dressed more lavishly than ever before. Gold dust clings to your shoulders. Your lips are stained red, your eyes lined with kohl so thick it makes your gaze almost inhuman. Demetrius warns you in a whisper, tonight is different. Tonight, the city's mask comes off. At first, it looks like any grand banquet. Governors, generals, foreign envoys, all laughing over overflowing cups. But as the moon rises higher, the music changes. The rhythm grows slower, heavier, like the pounding of a heart. The torches are dimmed. Curtains are drawn. And the rules vanish. Men and women shed their robes until the marble floors are strewn with silk and jewels. Dancers move between the tables like serpents, winding around guests, their movements dripping with suggestion. The air turns thick with perfume and sweat. You are led, not asked, to sit beside a foreign merchant prince. His eyes are sharp, his smile sharper. He touches the back of your neck like he's testing the sharpness of a blade. Around you, the feast begins to turn into something else entirely. A senator's wife kisses another woman in plain view of her husband, who watches with quiet hunger. A young nobleman kneels before a rival he swore to kill in public, but tonight offers him wine from his own lips. It is a theater of indulgence, and you are part of the cast. You feel the pull of it, the strange mix of danger and desire, the way the crowd's energy seems to pull you toward the center of something unspoken. Demetrius' warning echoes in your mind, no one leaves the great feast the same as they entered. Some leave with power, others leave in chains. You glance toward the high table. The governor watches from his gilded chair, smiling faintly, like a god surveying his altar. You realize the truth, this is not a celebration. It is an unmasking. A test. And you are about to find out what role they've chosen for you. The music fades into a low, hypnotic drone. The dancers slow, their movements now deliberate, almost ritualistic. A hush falls over the room as if every guest, no matter how drunk or reckless, senses the shift. The governor rises. His robe falls open just enough to reveal the gold amulet resting against his bare chest, an ancient symbol you've never seen before, its edges worn smooth by centuries of hands. He raises his cup, but he doesn't drink. Instead, he speaks your name. The sound of it rings in your ears, louder than the crowd's sudden whispers. You feel every gaze turn toward you, sharp as knives. Demetrius stiffens at your side, his hand gripping your arm. His voice is barely a breath, do not refuse. Do not run. Two guards approach, their faces blank, their steps perfectly in sync. They do not touch you, but their presence herds you forward until you are standing before the governor. You are a guest, he says, his tone smooth as oil. But tonight, you may become something greater. He gestures toward the center of the hall where the marble floor has been cleared. Servants step forward carrying a low, black altar, nothing ornate, but somehow heavier than stone should be, as if it carries the weight of old, terrible promises. A silver dagger rests upon it. The handle is wrapped in dark leather, worn by many hands. The governor continues, one life will be spared tonight. One life will be given. You will choose. Your stomach twists. Around the room, faces blur, some curious, some eager, some unreadable. And then you see them, two figures kneeling before the altar, heads bowed. The first, the foreign merchant prince who touched you at the feast, his pride now stripped away. The second, a young servant girl you've seen in the kitchens, the one who once smuggled you bread when you were hungry. The hall waits. No one speaks. Even the torches seem to burn quieter. Demetrius' hand brushes yours, a fleeting contact that feels like both a warning and a plea. You realize the truth, this is the real feast. The food, the wine, the seduction, all just a curtain hiding the thing that truly binds people to the governor's power, the taste of blood. And whether you spill it, or prevent it, will mark you forever, your throat is dry. The air in the hall feels heavier with each heartbeat. Somewhere deep inside, you know that this is not just about two lives, it's about the part of yourself you will have to kill to survive here. The governor leans closer, his breath warm against your ear. Do not think long, he murmurs. The gods grow impatient. The merchant prince looks up first, his eyes wet, his lips trembling with whispered bargains. You can see the gold rings on his fingers, even now clinging to wealth as if it could shield him. The servant girl does not beg. She keeps her head down, her small shoulders still. But you remember her smile on that morning in the kitchens, the quiet kindness in a place where kindness has no profit. 1,000 eyes burn into you. The guards shift, their fingers brushing the hilts of their blades. Even the music has died completely, replaced by the slow, steady beat of a drum somewhere in the shadows. Demetrius' voice cuts into your thoughts, soft but urgent, choose, before they choose for you. You step toward the altar. The dagger's handle is cold, almost damp, as if it has been waiting for your grip all night. The governor watches without blinking. You open your mouth to speak, and a deafening crash echoes through the hall. One of the towering doors bursts inward, splintering under the force. A flood of masked figures surges in, their weapons glinting in the torchlight, their movements swift and precise. Screams erupt. Goblets spill. Gold dishes crash to the floor. The governor rises, his expression twisting from satisfaction to fury. The guards form a wall around him. In the chaos, a masked stranger seizes your wrist. His grip is iron, his voice sharp, if you want to live, you come with us, now. But Demetrius is still beside you, his own hand gripping your other arm. His voice is low, desperate. Stay. Trust me. I can protect you here. 2 hands. 2 paths. The dagger is still in your grip. The choice you make now will not just decide who lives, but who you will become. The hall is chaos, a storm of screams, steel, and shattering glass. But inside your skull, everything slows to a deafening silence. 2 hands clutch you, 2 voices pull you in opposite directions. The masked stranger's grip burns against your skin. His eyes, visible through the narrow slits of his mask, are urgent but not unkind. He smells of dust and sweat, the scent of someone who has been running through the underbelly of the city to reach you. If you hesitate, they'll cut you down where you stand, he hisses. Demetrius' grip is different, firm, controlled. His eyes lock on yours with an intensity you have never seen before. Stay, he says, his voice almost breaking. There's more going on here than you understand. If you run now, you'll lose everything. The dagger is still in your hand. Its blade catches the torchlight, casting a sharp reflection of your own trembling face. You take a step toward Demetrius. Then toward the masked stranger. The crowd pushes, shouts, flees. Your mind is split in 2. And then, you notice it. Both men, Demetrius and the masked stranger, are wearing the same ring. A heavy iron band etched with a serpent devouring its own tail. The Ouroboros. Your stomach turns. The governor, you realize, wears the same ring. You've seen it on the merchant prince as well. The servant girl, when she brushed your sleeve that morning, had a faint mark on her wrist, the same serpent, burned into her skin. The room around you blurs. This was never a rescue. This was never a choice between good and evil. This was a test, a game played by a circle that already owns both sides. The masked stranger leans close, whispering, the choice doesn't matter. We all serve the same master. Demetrius' jaw tightens. He says nothing. For the first time, you understand. The dagger in your hand isn't meant to kill them. It's meant to see if you'll obey. The drumbeat grows louder. All eyes turn to you again. You lift the blade. The hall fades to black.